Hi there, this is Ababola to Titus, your favorite animal scientist, and today I bring you good news. Yes, a wonderful good news. I want to share with you one of the best poultry managing apps that you can find on the internet today, and it is called My Poultry Manager. Let's get straight into the apps to explore it quickly. Alright, so this is the app interface. This is where you get to once you open the app, and then we'll go to check the information here. Now we'll come to the dashboard where we can create a farm account, and the farm account is not free anyways. The farm account comes with a monthly subscription fee of $6.9, and you have all these informations, all these products to enjoy when you buy the subscription. Now we can create this account for free as well, but on the free account you will not have access to all these informations. With the subscribed account, you are going to get the whole of the information that we see there. Now I'm going to have adverts removed, egg production reports, all feed reports sent to your phone, all flock reports, inventory report, data backup and restore, export all reports to PDF, access to web version, multiple users with roles, sync data between devices, export all data to Excel, CSV, PDF, unlimited access to all features. But if you don't, you will not be able to do that. However, I've created an account on this. I already created my own farm account on the free version, and you can just go through the information here and you are good to go. All right, so let's go into the app quickly and see what we can find. Now the first thing we have to do is to get to the farm setup. Yes, we have to go to the farm setup before we come to the inventory. In the farm setup, you will have some information to input first before we go into the inventory. First, we look at the expense categories. There are no categories at this moment. We can actually create one. So let's enter an expense category. Let's look at feed materials. For instance, you can add feed materials as one of your expense category. This comes to all the things that has to do with the feed. We can as well add medications. This comes with all the vaccines and all the drugs we use in the production. Then you can as well add labor costs. This has to do with what you give out to all those working for you. And then you can as well add miscellaneous in case for other repairs and all of that. So this is it. So we have added our expense categories. These are the major categories that will spend money actually. Now we look at the income categories. I've already imputed this before. Now we have the egg sales, the live chicken sales, the poultry waste. In case there is any other thing you sell apart from the eggs, the live chicken, the poultry waste and all of that, you can as well add. Let's take for instance, we'll add let's say the packaged chicken. Instead of using the word packaged, why not use frozen? So let's use frozen chicken sales as one of the income categories. You see that? Then the next thing we have to look at is the feed types. I've already added the feed types: the finisher pellets, the grower crumbs, the start mash, and the turkey starter. I just added this turkey starter. You can add any other one that you want. In fact, you can even add using a brand name. Let's take for instance New Hope Super Starter. So I can add that there. All right, so New Hope Super Starter, I can add that information on the feed types. Then we'll look at the diseases. The diseases are already added. We have fowl cholera, fowl pox, IBD, Marex, Newcastle, and Rannicets. Those are actually the most common diseases that you find in a poultry house. So let's go back to we are done with the farm setup. We'll come now to the inventories, right? So let's go to the inventories. When we look at the inventory, what you will find is the flock, the eggs, and the feed. We'll begin with the flock first. So when you come to the flock, what you're going to find is the batch and the reductions. Those are two informations that we enter together as we operate the farm daily. The first one is the batch. Now we want to upload the information of the batch you're currently dealing with. The batch has to do with the flock that you have in the farm. So let's say I want to add a particular batch, and I want to name the batch of the production, maybe the broilers I'm producing right now. The batch idea name can come from maybe the farm you bought from, or the company you bought from, or maybe even the strain or the type of the species, the strain, or the breed that you are dealing with, as the case may be. So let's assume there is a farm known as ABC. So I'll write ABC chicks. ABC chicks. Let them be the batch name. Then let's assume there are 200 in number. Then I select the flock purpose. Please, I go back to this place to put broiler. Yes, broiler. Then select the flock purpose. That should be meat. Broilers are mostly meat breeds, so we'll put meat there. Then look at the selection acquisition type. The acquisition type, we purchase them. If they were hatched on farm, you select whether they came in as a gift, donation, or others, but we purchase them from ABC Farm. So we look at that date of acquisition. The information should be entered properly, and then you write a short note. Maybe the short note could be the experience, how you felt, the condition of the new chicks when they arrived. So we just put in the information and then we tap save. That information is already saved. Now we can add another batch. Let's take, for instance, we got this from Chi Farms. Chick, then broiler. See that number of chicks? Let's say we got 300. Purpose is meat, broilers. Then acquisition type, we'll purchase them. Date of that information, we'll put that there. Then we say enter our notes, we save. Then we can as well do another batch. We'll call this layer 244. That's for laying batch. Then let's say we procured 3,000 beds. We select the purpose, this time layers for eggs. Yes. Acquisition type, they were purchased. Date of acquisition, we'll put the information, and then we'll make a short note there too. Then we save. Now with this, you see that I've added all the information of the batches that I have in my farm. Now we'll go to reductions. The reductions is where you enter information that has to do with any removal or any deductions in the number of beds that you've already stocked in any of the batches. So let's take, for instance, we had a reduction in the farm, and then what is the reason for the reduction in the flock? So let's look at reasons, whether they were called, death, sold, lost or stolen, or others. Let's assume they were sold. Now we select the flocks. Now you see all the flock we added at the stock phase is already here. So we can select from the ABC chick broilers, then quantity that was removed or sold, let's say 43. Then the reduction date, we put the date they were sold. How much did you earn? Let's say we earned 53,000. Name of customer, the person who bought them. If there are more than one, you can as well put that. But let's say Hamila DDR, say Hassan. There, that's it. Then we'll make a short note, how the day went, and all of that information. Then you see that information is already there in the deductions. Now let's go back to batches and see something striking there. If you come back to the batches and you look at the ABC chicks broiler, the information has reflected, the reduction has reflected on the new information here. Now you see reduced by 43, and the beds is now 157 instead of 200. because we reduced by selling. Now let's go back to reduction. Let's take, for instance, maybe we lost some chicks from the layer side. So let's say that we'll go to selection of flocks. We take from the layer 244, quantity reduced, we'll take 34. So reduction date, we put our reduction date. We'll write a note. Maybe the note could be what was actually the cause. Maybe let's say heat stress. That should just be it. Then we save. Then we'll go back to the batches. Look at the layer 244 information. You see it has changed. So from 3,000 to 292,966, sorry. And then you look at the mortality. It also helps you to calculate the mortality. The mortality, if you remove 34 from 3,000, the mortality will be at 1.13%. So you see that this is a very fine app that helps you to keep information, helps you to know how much is left, what has gone out, the reasons for why they went out, and helps you to even do the calculation on the mortality. So this is just a wonderful app for you right now that you will begin to think of how to get. Not just getting it, but making your full subscription. Now let's look at the egg information. We're going to add the information. So we look at the collection type. What type of collection? Is it from the whole farm or from the flock? Now, if you choose from the flock, what that means is that you are selecting all the batches, both the broiler and the layers, but that's not our interest. So we select from the flock. Now we're going to select the flock. You see that? So the flock information is there. So we take our layer 244 because that is the only laying batch that we have. Then we look at the collection remark. These ones are newly collected from the farm. Then you put the information of the collection date. Then you put in the number of eggs that you collected. You know, on the information there, we have that 30 eggs per tray actually. So we can actually change the setting, but that's the best, 30 eggs per tray. So let's say we collected about 450 out of 3,000. Then good eggs not in tray, the ones that we could not put in the tray, let's say they're about 325 eggs not in tray. Then the bad eggs in tray, let's say we have just 23 bad eggs in tray. Bad eggs not in tray, let's say they are 12. Then we'll write a short note about the egg collections, how it was done, and then we save the information. So if you look at it, bad eggs in tray are just 23 and 12 not in tray. Then 460 eggs are in tray, representing 25 crates there. All right, so we'll look at the reductions. If there are reductions, let's see why the reductions happen. So egg reduction specific to a flock. Is it specific or not specific? Let's say it's specific to a flock, so we select the flock. That's layer 244. Remember, layer 244 is our laying flock and our laying batch. So anytime we have to do with egg, we'll just pick it out of the batches that we've uploaded. Then we select the type of eggs. Let's say the good ones. That's what we actually reduced. The reason for reduction, we sold them. Date of reduction, you put the information. How much did you earn from selling them? Let's say we earned 45,000. The name of customer, Hamila, and then the number of eggs in crate. Number of eggs, let's say 234. Eggs not in crate if there was any, and if there was none, you just fill in the information and you save. So we have reduced 234 eggs from the tray. Come back to the information, and that is what you have. So you can use this to keep track of how much sales was made and where it went to, the purpose for which the eggs left or the birds left, and all of that. Then we'll come to the feed. This will help us to also know how much feed we have actually expended in the production cost. and how we reduce them, how we use the feed, as the case may be. So let's look at the feed additions. Now we add the feed type. The first information we have to fill is the feed specific to a flock. Okay, let's look at this. Let's say yes, it is specific to flock, and we select the flock. So we select the broiler, that is the ABC chicks broiler. Then we select feed type. We look at that. So we can put the New Hope Super Starter. Yes, so we can add that information here in case we want to add another one, but we've already added. So we select from the ones we've added, the New Hope Super Starter. What was the quantity of feed administered? Let's say 10 bags. Yes. Cost of feed. What was the cost of the feed? Let's assume we spent 98,000. The date of purchase, we put that there, and we'll write short note. Short note could be from where you bought it and the transportation palaver and everything. Then we save the information. So you look at that, New Hope Super Starter, 10 bag, and the cost of the feed. Then we look at the reductions. We want to know why our 10 bags reduced. So feed reduction, was it specific to a flock? Yes, it was specific to a flock. And what flock is that? The ABC chicks broiler. Now, what is the reason for reducing it? They were consumed by poultry, spoiled, lost, or stolen. Let's say they were consumed by the poultry itself. Now look at the type, the New Hope Super Starter. Quantity reduced could be, let's say, 9. And then feeding done by, who actually did the feeding? Let's say the attendant, the pen attendant. Reduction date, we put the date of the reduction. We'll write the information on how the feed was actually administered to the bird. So we'll look at that. So we'll put that. Now at the end of the day, this is the information. 9 bags consumed, and that is the information. So at the end of the day, you will get an information concerning all that has happened in the farm, right? So we'll look at feeding. If you look at feeding, you see what has happened to the feeding report. This can be exported to PDF and to your private mail. You see that? So if you look at what is going on, you see fed by farm pen attendant, quantity of feed consumed already is 9, and that is just the information. So we can at the same time look at the health status. We can add an information, vaccination, when vaccinations were done, select involved birds. Is it flock or the whole farm? Let's take the whole farm. Select disease we vaccinated against. Let's say Gumboro. Name of vaccine, you just put your IBDV. Yes. Vaccine. Number of birds. That's the total number of birds. Sorry. Oh my god. That's the total number of birds I just wiped. That's about 2, 3, 4, 5 something. Whole farm. Let me see. Whole farm. Yes. 3,420. That's the total number of birds that we have on all the batches we've uploaded. Then the vaccinated by, who did the vaccination? Let's say pen attendant. Pen attendant. Then we'll write short notes on how the vaccine was administered. You look at that. So medications, if there are any other medications, select birds involved. Let's say the whole farm. Is it for a known disease? Let's say yes or no. Yes, what disease is that? Let's say for cholera. Then name of medicine. You can put the name of the medicine that you use for treating cholera. Date of medication. Who did the medication? Pen attendant. And then we'll write short notes on the information and we save. So this helps you keep track of the medications and when they were actually done. Then we'll look at the feeding. we've checked that already. The health status, transactions. You look at the information on transactions, you look at the income, then you look at the expenses, income and expenses. So this helps you to even balance your income and expenses in the farm. I hope you really enjoyed this. We'll have reports here, reports on any of the informations that you want, whether they are egg production, flock reductions, and all of that. You can get all those reports, whether they be feed reports and so on and so forth. But you have, before you get this information, just like I told you from the beginning, you have to subscribe to the app. Now with this, you can operate this on the free version and still get a reasonable amount of information. But I will encourage you to subscribe to be able to transport and to have all these informations sent to your mail directly, both in PDF, in CSV formats, and any format at all that you want. All right, so I'm going to be stopping here. I hope you really enjoyed and you've learned something from the video itself. So as you do this, you'll be able to keep track of all the happenings in your farm, and you'll be able to track every expenditure, every penny spent, every action taken. This will save you a whole lot of writing on paper and all of that. So this is farm management on the go. I remain my humble self, Abagola to Titus. This video is not actually sponsored by My Poultry Manager. I just found the app and I thought it good to share with you. Maybe you could get some value. Instead of employing somebody to do all of this information, you can just release this app to your farm attendants, and they work with it daily while filling in the information so that you can keep track from wherever you are. All right, do have a nice day, and I hope that you try this app out and share with me your thoughts on the app. I remain my humble self, Abagola to Titus, and thanks you for watching Livestock Farmers Guide. Remain blessed.